Welcome to The Healing Equation. I'm Grace, the founder of Agora Health.
And my name is Jasmine, founder of Body in the City.
In this series, we explore women's health, well-being and healing in the modern world, speaking to experts, innovators and advocates in the space to help you along your wellness journey.
So take a seat, get comfy, and join us for another empowering episode. We're really excited about today's guest. He's the driving force behind the brand that's changed the way that so many of us approach supplements. Moving beyond tablets and capsules to pioneering oral sprays that make nutrients like vitamin D, magnesium, and iron more effective and easier to absorb, his journey began from a very personal need to find a better solution to health. And it's grown into a mission that's helped people around the world improve their health and well-being. Please join us in welcoming the founder of BetterYou, Andrew Thomas. Hello.
Welcome, Andrew.
Thank you so much for having me. That's a wonderful introduction. Thank you.
How are you doing today?
Really good, thank you.
Yeah,
very,
thanks
very
for being
good.
here.
Well, you're the supplement man, so if you don't
are.
feel good, then there's a problem.
It's the only answer I could give, really, isn't it?
So tell us a little bit about your personal journey. How did you get into starting BetterYou, or just really into using supplements to begin with?
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, using supplements was the first time that I really entered this industry and started BetterYou. So my story is that I was European marketing director for Wrangler Jeans back in the day.
Okay.
Different world, different life. And that was 20 odd years ago. And I'd been an asthmatic since the age of 12.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I was in North Carolina in Greensboro County, and I was filming a rodeo, and I was in a bar at the end of the day, and I was buying a round of drinks for the crew. And I happened to reach in my pocket and I brought out my inhaler, steroid-based inhaler that I'd been on for a very long time. And anybody who's asthmatic knows that you tend to have this emotional reliance on it. Anyway, it was out there on the counter. And someone next to me turned around to me and said, "I can get you off that."
Oh.
So I turned to him. He's got a swarthy sort of Spanish guy. And he ended up to be a biochemist called Juan Rosello. And we had 20 minutes, half an hour conversation about the importance of increasing magnesium and managing your level of magnesium intake to equate to calcium intake. And it was an education. And I really wished I'd spent more time doing chemistry and biology at school. But I thought, this is amazing. He then told me that he'd been working with a magnesium supplement, a form of magnesium that was transdermal that you apply onto the skin. And he would love to drop some off at my hotel reception.
Wow.
Which he duly did.
Yeah.
And I flew home with this 2-pint bottle of what turned out to be magnesium chloride hexahydrate, which I then dutifully applied. I poured into my hands and applied onto my shoulders and upper arms as he told me. I ran out of the liquid after about, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. And I phoned Juan. I had his details and I said, "I don't know, but I think I'm feeling more flexible. I'm sure I'm not using my inhaler as much. Look, I'd really like to give this a go. Where can I buy some?" He then told me that he'd been sent the sample from a mine. It wasn't commercially available. He believes a lot of samples have been sent out and probably all ended up in the bin. He understood magnesium, the importance of magnesium. And if I wanted to know more, I should get on a plane and fly to the mine. So I'm sitting there going, "What, really?" But I did. I had a word with myself and I got on a plane. I flew to Amsterdam, got a train to Groningen, and then a bus, as it was, to a place called Veendam in northern Holland, which is where the mine was. I met the mine managers, Bert and Dave, they were, both geologists, and I was blown away by the purity of this source of magnesium, which was used at the time in construction. It was actually used to frostproof and fireproof cement.
Okay.
Oh.
But because of the regulations in building, they obviously did an analysis of the purity of this magnesium that comes out, and it's probably more analysed and more detailed analysis than anything that was entering the nutritional industry, and they knew this. So they thought, let's get it out to nutritionists and sports therapists, but a lot of people just poo-pooed it. So by the end of that day, I shook hands with them. and said, I'd love to represent you. Yeah. So I flew home.
Wow.
I thought I'd better set up a company.
Yeah.
So I set up, it wasn't called BetterYou at the time. I set up, and it was on the 19th of August, 2005. I remember that. And I set up a company called the Alternative Health Laboratories, which is an awful name.
But I didn't want to say it.
At the time, it seemed okay. And I had one product, which is my magnesium oil. And the source of magnesium was amazing. What blew me away was the fact that magnesium chloride, which is the most bioavailable form of magnesium, and by bioavailable we mean it's the quickest to get into the bloodstream, which is where we need it that's how we utilize it. It comes from evaporated seawater, and this seawater was basically a landlocked sea called the Zechstein Sea, and it stretched. Continents are different now, but it stretched 250 million years ago from Yorkshire to the German-Russian border. It was a landlocked sea. At 250 million years ago, it evaporated over a number of million years. And when you evaporate seawater, you get multiple salts. The first salt you get is sodium chloride, table salt. You put on your chips. There's still quite a lot of moisture in there. If you superheat that, you get another salt called Epsom salts. Or magnesium sulfate. So there's still quite a lot of water in that. So it's not in its pure form. If you superheat Epsom salts, you get the final salt. It doesn't get any more pure than this, called bischofite, or magnesium chloride hexahydrate. And that's the form that was evaporated. And that's the form that is now 1 mile underground in this, what was a landlocked sea. And so they mine it. It's called solution mining. So you pump spring water down and you turn these crystals into a solution, and then you suck the solution back to the surface, and it goes into the bottles. So it's completely uncontaminated, super condensed, purified, so it's not been tainted by modern man-made pollutants. It's super, super pure and 100% natural. So it goes straight into our bottles, and that's what I was using. And I produced some other products, some capsules at the time. But people kept on, when I was going round with my little bag, going round to health stores, they all kept on saying, just tell me about magnesium again. I knew there was something quite wonderful. You know, this was 20 years ago. And it was it was a magical moment when I thought, no, there's interest here, but I better get it tested. And this was my other moment when I'm Welsh originally. So when I used to go to visit my mum in Pembrokeshire, I used to drive along the M4, and I used to pass Cardiff University. So I thought, I'm going to pop into Cardiff University with my product and get them to test it, because that's what they'll do, I'm sure. And the first car park on the left-hand side happens to be opposite the School of Pharmacy and Pharmacology. So I parked in the first car park. I walked across, and I went to the receptionist, and I had my bottle of magnesium chloride in my hand. And behind the receptionist happened to be the head of the school, Charles Hurd. So he heard me tell the receptionist why I was there, and could she point me in the right direction? And he said, come up into my office. I had this wonderful conversation with him, and he said, look, this is what we do. Give me the liquid. We will devise a test to show speed of absorption, if it is absorbed, because I thought I could be a complete fraud here. So there was a wonderful doctorate student called David Houston, who he used for the trials. He designed the trial, him and Charles, and we found it was exceptionally well absorbed through the skin. So basically, magnesium, when it comes in a compound form, so we hear about magnesium oxide, malate, glycinate. So magnesium chloride has the weakest bond, which is what you're looking for bioavailability. So it immediately splits, which is why if you ever use magnesium flakes in the bath, if you leave the magnesium flakes out at the side and don't seal the bag, you'll be left with water after a couple of days. It just breaks down into its natural form. So it's incredibly well absorbed. So I thought, oh, thank goodness for that. And I had proof that I had magnesium. And from a personal point of view, I've been asthma-free now for almost 19 years.
Wow.
So it transformed my life. I'm evangelical about magnesium. And that was the start of the BetterYou journey. One product that has now become 50-odd products.
So prior to meeting Juan in the bar, Had you sought any type of other supplements other than your inhaler?
No, not at all.
You were just,
not at
you just
all. I was
with,
just
like, that's what it was.
I wasn't content with it. I battled with it. And I think anybody who's an asthmatic who relies on this piece of plastic that you spray into your mouth, it is, and I said it was an emotional reliance. It's this love-hate thing. You know you need it, but you really don't want it.
Yeah.
You know? And normally when you reach for it, it's sort of beyond that point of self-help.
Yeah.
You have these panic attacks, your bronchial airways start to tighten, and you get that panic, and it's a horrible, horrible feeling. So I was so keen to get off it, but I'd never sought any other, certainly natural solution. No one was really talking about it. And at the time, no one was talking about magnesium either. I think we talk about magnesium more now, certainly over the last couple of years. Social media is talking about it, but it tends to refer to sleep support and ignores the absolutely fundamental biological reliance that we have on magnesium, which is far, far wider reaching than just sleep.
So, I mean, you also had a lot of good luck in that story, because to walk into the university, get the head of treatment department there, so you were very blessed in your journey to starting,
You're so right.
starting the business. But obviously the supplement space 20 years ago was probably completely different to the supplement space now. I'm just talking like as a customer, it's very overwhelming just to know what to pick, because it's so saturated with different companies and products now. So how did you find the journey kind of navigating in the last decade with the company in the supplement space, having something that was so authentic, but also having just the one product? And then even now, you still have a very selected range of products in comparison to brands that do have sort of products with a real mix of different ingredients. You have to spend hours just reading the label. How did you navigate that growth, and how have you seen the market change?
I mean, okay, that's an excellent question. Wow, how do you navigate? I mean, we have a philosophy in BetterYou, and it's been borne out time and time again, of food first. Food first, and then we plug the gaps. Inevitably left those vitamins and minerals that are underrepresented or omitted through modern diet and lifestyle. And that's come about from just multiple conversations with people far cleverer than me, nutritionists, dietitians, doctors, surgeons, nurses, who time and time again are telling me what they see as a deficiency in people who are struggling. And it tends to be the same nutrients. And I think it's probably a very, very clear reflection on the dietary, nutritional journey that us as a species, certainly in the Western Hemisphere, are having and experiencing, and probably a victim of now, unfortunately, because our choices are becoming smaller and smaller, narrower and narrower. So I started with magnesium primarily because of a personal requirement and a personal experience. I then met another wonderful guy called Jan de Vries. And Jan de Vries was, he's a homeopath. He's also a GP. He's Dutch. Worked, a wonderful, wonderful man, worked at a number of therapy centres in Scotland. And he used to use my magnesium. And one day we were having a toasty sandwich and a coffee, because he always used to feed me. He used to look underfed, obviously. And he'd say, what's next? And I said, well, I'm not too sure. He said, you should really think about vitamin D. This is in 2006, 7. And I said, why? He said, well, follow the science. He said, look at the clinical studies that are coming out of the States. And it was hockey sticking. It was just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. He said, there is evidence here, but there's no supplements. There's nothing here. He said, you really need to launch a vitamin D supplement. I said, okay. He said, and when you do, can you have my face on the label? I went, okay, yeah. So we developed it together. So basically it was a very, very simple capsule. It was a liquid capsule of coconut oil and vitamin D. So coconut oil and cholecalciferol. And he said, make sure you put my face on on the packaging. I said, right. I just happened to be with Charles Hurd at Cardiff University a few weeks later, who said, "What's your next plan, Andy?" And I said, "Well, I've got it. It's vitamin D, and it's a liquid capsule." And he said, "Okay, why a capsule?" I said, "Well, why not?
Yeah.
I don't think it goes through the skin unless you can tell me that." He said, "Well, we've just finished a study looking at an anti-malarial oral spray, a quinine-based spray." He said the vast majority of deaths from malaria from children under 5, and the vast majority of those are children under 1. They can't take tablets or capsules. This quinine-based spray, administered by mother or father every day, probably saved hundreds of thousands of lives. I just thought, that's genius. He said, "If you give me the liquid, shall we see if it can be sprayed?" I went, "Okay."
Thank you.
Absolutely. So I gave him a litre bottle of the liquid. And so again, he got some undergraduates and doctorate students to devise a trial. Devised a trial. Hey, presto, it's well absorbed in the mouth. The beautiful thing was, I mean, it was incredibly well absorbed.
Yeah.
But we were expecting it to be absorbed sublingually. Under tongue, so under the tongue. But actually, the vast majority of the absorption was in the buccal membranes on the inner cheek.
Okay.
So he was delighted by this, and we found something new out. So that was great. So pretty much overnight, not only was my next product turned from a capsule into an oral spray, I suddenly saw what my company was, which was an effective alternative to tablets and capsules. I thought, this is great.
Yes.
And so, obviously, we had now absorption studies for magnesium, absorption studies for vitamin D, oral spray. And so ever since, Cardiff University have absorption tested all my products.
Amazing.
And it's been a wonderful relationship.
Yeah.
But listening to great people, very clever people, and knowing when to just let them direct you has been great. So,
Do you find that there's, or from your experience and from the data, that you said obviously in the Western Hemisphere that magnesium was like typically quite low? Is that, I'm guessing, the same for vitamin D as well? Do we find different parts of the world that people don't necessarily need vitamin D? And how would people in the Western Hemisphere, so in the UK specifically, know without taking a blood test that they're low in vitamin D?
Oh, these are great questions. I think modern life now is no longer just Western diets. It's universal. When we're looking at vitamin D specifically, our internal existence and skin covering is universal. And so therefore we have a universal need for vitamin D supplementation. It's just that some societies, some countries understand it better than others, but it's here to stay until we start fortifying foods. We are where we are. So, vitamin D, it's actually a pro-hormone. We call it a vitamin, but it's really the only vitamin we make ourselves. Every other vitamin we receive. So we make vitamin D from our skin's unprotected exposure to the UVB radiation from the sun. And we need enough surface area from which to do that. And if I look at myself now, I'm showing about 5%. Well, that's not how this species started.
To be
naked.
Absolutely. Get naked. You're so and we also have to protect ourselves because we're not used to the sun anymore. So obviously, I've got to caveat everything I say by the fact that we are not used to it. So please protect yourself. However, skin covering with clothes, makeup has a sun factor in. We obviously protect ourselves with sun cream. All of this has an impact of reducing UVB radiation, which has a shorter wavelength than UVA radiation. UVA radiation has a long wavelength that can penetrate cloud, can penetrate glass, can penetrate thin material. UVB radiation, which is what we need to stimulate vitamin D receptors in our fat cells to generate vitamin D, has a shorter wavelength. It can't penetrate cloud. So it can't penetrate clothes, it can't penetrate glass. And if the sun is lower than 45 degrees in the sky, it can't penetrate our atmosphere. Which is why if you're, as a rule of thumb, if your shadow is longer than your body, it means the sun is lower than 45 degrees, and no matter how bright that sun shines, you won't be developing vitamin D.
Okay.
Which is why, historically we've always said winter months
Yeah.
when the sun is low in the sky, you need to supplement vitamin D. But what we know now is that you need to supplement vitamin D year round.
Yeah.
Because irrespective of what's happening outside,
Yeah.
we're inside.
Yeah.
We work, we shop, we exercise, we entertain ourselves internally.
Inside,
We're at the tail end of our biggest clinical study yet with Newcastle University. Dr. Bernard Corfey and his team are studying oral spray vitamin D delivery on certain cohorts with unmet needs, the elderly and those with darker skin pigmentation. Now, we did the recruitment in summer.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're at the tail end of the trial now.
Yeah.
It's double-blind placebo, so we don't know the results. But we did the recruitment in the summer. And for the elderly, in summer months, 50% were deficient in vitamin D.
Wow.
Yeah, 50%. For darker skin pigmentation, 75% during summer months were insufficient or deficient of vitamin D.
Because I knew this.
I didn't.
I knew this, yeah.
Why?
I don't know, because black people need sun and we don't get enough of it. It's like basic
And the
stuff.
thing is, your skin is perfectly evolved to
Absorb.
protect yourself from sun, which is why really you age so well. Your skin, it's just
We do. Yeah, we do.
No, but you do. It's beautiful, but
She suits me, really.
It's just great Botox, Andy. You don't know it.
But from an evolutionary point of view, obviously we developed as a species on the equator.
Yeah.
Where we had darker skin, dark eyes, dark hair. It was perfectly adept for strong sun. But as we migrated northerly and southerly, the sun's rays become weaker and weaker. We had to evolve a lighter skin. So dark skin, dark eyes, dark hair became white skin, lighter skin, blue eyes, blonde hair, in order to absorb what little UVB radiation was there. So then you have darker skin pigmentation in the northern hemisphere or southern hemisphere, and you've got a problem. So you're absolutely right. You do need to supplement, but it's the same for us all. Unfortunately.
What are some of the symptoms of vitamin D? Do we know?
So there's two primary functions of vitamin D. One is bone health.
Okay,
and one is the immune system. Bone health, there's a triumvirate, there's sort of the holy trinity of bone health, which is basically to enable calcium to enter the bone.
Okay.
So calcium is so important, but only if it enters the bone.
Yeah.
It's a problem anywhere else, really. So for calcium to enter the bone, you need magnesium, which makes calcium soluble.
Okay.
Then you need vitamin D and vitamin K2 to direct that calcium into the bone. Okay, so one's to solubilize it, the other one is to direct it into the bone.
Yes.
So vitamin D helps for healthy bones, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And the other benefit for vitamin D then is the immune system. And it's not just coincidence that as soon as we lose the sun, as soon as we enter autumn, we all start to get coughs, colds, sneezes. Those viruses are around year-round. It's just our robustness, our ability to resist them is higher, a little bit higher in the summer. But even now we're talking about summer colds, aren't we? The sniffles in the summer. It's just because our immune system is so
low.
depressed. It used to be that we could elevate our levels to a degree in the summer months that we could just about get by autumn and winter. Our levels are lowest in the spring, actually, because we use all our vitamin D up. Autumn and winter. But now, unfortunately, we have such an internal existence that we don't elevate our levels enough during summer months. So we are really at rock bottom in autumn and winter.
I think the bone density one is very important because that impacts a lot of women, specifically with, as we know, hormonal changes, and especially women going through menopause, we're seeing high levels of osteoporosis, etc. So one of the things that, as well for other conditions as well, gynecological conditions, they always recommend supplementing, and vitamin D is usually always the baseline that will be recommended. I guess one of the things I want to ask is we've had a lot of doctors and experts on the podcast, and one of the things that we know this, but when you go to your GP and say, for example, you're sick, you've got a cold, you've got a flu, they don't tend to give you holistic treatments or to even suggest them or offer them. And a lot of supplementation, I think we kind of take supplements when we're already sick, and then you go, oh, it didn't really work. well, it's not going to work straight away because it probably takes a good few months for us to get the benefits of these vitamins in our system. So really, in terms of prevention and having more holistic care as well, how important is it for people to not just go for a bottle of vitamin D or B12 when you need it, but actually to continuously take it to help support your health?
You're so right. It's about healthy habits is what we're talking about, isn't it? I think what people are wary about is being sold a supplement, sold a nutrient that they don't fully understand.
Yeah.
Right.
And they feel almost victimized by it. It's like, something else I've got to take. And the trouble with GPs, I mean, they do a fantastic job, but their nutritional training is virtually zero.
Yeah.
And they know that. They'll be the first to admit that. So there's a real burden on brands to do a good job at education. And I'll speak for brands, I don't think we do a good enough job. Some of us do better than others at education. And I think it's so important for anyone who buys a supplement that they understand what they're buying and why they're buying it.
Yeah.
And ideally understand a level.
Yeah.
I started doing vitamin D test kits at home. We do vitamin D, B12 and iron, because they tend to be the ones that I see again and again and again. And I encourage people to take the test. Take a test. It's a simple finger prick blood spot test. Find out your level.
Yeah.
And then we'll walk you through what to do. And if you're replete, brilliant.
Yeah.
But if not, we'll give them free product. We'll give them a personalized supplementation program.
Yeah.
It's so important that people understand that they know what they're taking and why. But you're right. Prevention, they say prevention is better than cure. And absolutely, you often take the nutritional supplementation out of belief.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a leap of faith sometimes.
True. Yes.
So there is an onus on us
Yes.
As educators to make sure that we give people enough of a resource to make that call. You know? And that's why I think BetterYou has never been and won't ever be this A to Z supplement company.
Yeah.
Because there are certain things that, although every nutrient is important, not everybody needs it. Yeah. But time and time again, I'm the nutritional advisor for a number of British Antarctic surveys. I've also got two amazing athletes, two girls rowing the Pacific at the Motion.
Wow.
Seize the Day, they're called. And it's only, as a team, I mean, it's been done once before by three lads, and that was 2 months ago.
Wow.
I mean, amazing. Three very strapping lads, and the McLean brothers, and they did a fantastic job. World record holders now. They've rowed themselves across the Pacific. Well, Miriam and Jess are rowing themselves across the Pacific as well.
That's amazing.
And they are doing fantastic. And I've worked with them, so I've been the nutritional advisor for them.
Yes.
We followed them. I took serum analysis for a whole year with them, looking at their dietary intake. We actually developed a spray for each of them, personalised for each of them, that they could take on. Because obviously water, ironically, water's at a premium when you're rowing.
Of course,
It's completely unsupported. So they can only eat and drink what they take on board. So we have to desalinate the water, using water pump, and eat. Or, the pasta carbonara
Sachets.
horrendous
Dehydrated.
stuff like that. Although they caught a tuna recently, which is amazing. So they were over the moon.
Some sushi.
But yeah, so I think it's my job to keep them healthy. And I made a promise to their parents I would do that. So we developed a spray for each of them, and that they spray every day.
Oh, I love that.
Really cool.
But what I find, looking at Antarctic teams and these amazing athletes, there are a few nutrients that are time and time again underrepresented when we look at their serum analysis. And for the Antarctic teams, we're talking about Marines, we're talking about military personnel,
Yeah.
fit as vitamin D every
Still,
time,
Yep.
B12 every time, magnesium every time, sometimes iron, but not always. But those three, magnesium, vitamin D, and B12, they're my holy trinity. They're the ones I use every day because I see it time and time again. So when I talk about prevention, for me, it's about just focusing on those things that we think would underpin a healthy body, a more resilient body. And that's what we're trying to get people to take.
Yeah.
Everything else, fine. Let's just see what you might need. But that, bone health, osteoporosis, you're so right. I think the Royal Osteoporosis Society has recently pivoted, and they're no longer focusing on just support for those with osteoporosis, but communication education for teenagers
Absolutely.
who hopefully will never get it.
Prevent it.
Because by the age of 22, 23, your skeletal structure is about as strong as it will ever get. After 22, 23, you are maintaining strength.
Yeah.
It's important. So
I already feel like I'm losing it, I'll be
Yeah.
honest.
well, if you
clicky.
can maintain it, and you can maintain
Yeah.
it well, you won't get any stronger.
Yes.
But you can maintain it well. So the preventative is the same as the maintenance.
Yeah.
So elevating, so magnesium, vitamin D, two primary ones, K2 for your bone.
Yeah.
When you're young is really, really important.
Good.
And my family, my daughter, my boys, all been brought up on it.
Yeah.
They know I'm evangelical about it.
Yes.
Because I want to give them the best
stuff.
health that they can have,
Absolutely.
best quality of life. And I, there's actually a nutrition survey undertaken by Public Health England. It's called the National Diet and Nutrition Survey. It's taken every 2 years,
Yeah.
published every 2 years. And in there's something it was quite awful to read, and it's something that is never mentioned. When you look at magnesium, and I can quote it blind, but if you look at magnesium intake, 40% of our adolescents, okay, that's teenage boys and girls, 53% of our teenage girls, 28% of our teenage boys have a magnesium intake equivalent to gross deficiency. That's
Wow.
lower than the lowest reference nutrient intake. That's what gross deficiency means.
Yeah.
So that's 53% of teenage
high.
girls,
That's
28%
very
of
high,
teenage
yes.
boys. These are going to be adults,
Yes.
and they are starting life with a magnesium intake equivalent to gross deficiency. It's highly processed food, industrialized agriculture.
Yeah.
Obviously, if we're talking about medications, prescription medications, that interferes with magnesium absorption as well.
Okay.
So all of these things, I'm thinking that's really worrying.
Yes.
And my daughter's 30 now, but she's always struggled with menstrual cramping, bad PMS, and classic low magnesium
Yes.
symptoms. Muscular cramping, mood swings.
Even hear like
hormone
morning sickness and pregnancy is linked to magnesium deficiency.
pregnancy as well, though, absolutely.
Yeah.
Elevating magnesium is only be good for you
Yeah.
and the infant and the child. So these are really important things that we're talking about, and prevention is something that we should all embrace and start
Absolutely.
and looking for a quick fix, looking for that instant
Right.
gain, which sort of like is embedded in us now.
Yes. Yeah.
Doesn't quite fit
Yeah.
with nutritional supplementation. But the delivery mechanisms that we've developed, which I'm incredibly proud about, is all about speed of absorption, getting it into the bloodstream with no loss.
Yes.
And I think there we've got the best we can get, really.
Yes.
Apart from an IV. That's it.
It's quick. I think. Go ahead.
No, you go.
I mean, I like BetterYou just for that stance of there's not like a saturation of products to choose from.
Yeah.
I like that. I can go into a store and I'm not going to be overwhelmed by what to choose. I think, like Grace said, there's so many brands out there where there's colourful bottles, there's lots of marketing, and you're just like overwhelmed. Like, I think I need that because I need nice hair. I think I need that because I need nice skin. I think I need that because I need a probiotic. And there's so much choice. And I think what you're doing with BetterYou is so important because, like I said, you're focusing on the fundamentals, but you're also encouraging people to look at this supplement as like an adjunct to their lifestyle and not just say, okay, I'm ill, I'm still going to have KFC, McDonald's, I'm just going to take a supplement and vitamin D. It's like you're trying to educate the younger generation and saying, let's try to look at these symptoms, let's try to boost our health and well-being so that as an adult, we're not fighting for our lives, trying to reverse years of damage we could have started when we were 15.
Yeah.
So I think that's extremely important. And what else, apart from what you're doing now, are you doing for the younger community to encourage them to take supplements? Like, I've been taking BetterYou for years. I've seen it around for years.
Me too.
My mum takes it. My family take it. But Are you doing anything? Do you have plans of doing anything to speak to the younger, i.e. the primary school, if it's available to them, and the secondary school people, to take supplements a bit earlier? Is there any like incentives or anything that you're doing at BetterYou to kind of bring them on board, not make it trendy, but make them think about it themselves rather than just waiting till they're adults?
I think that's the hub of everything, isn't it? Because that's the future of us all
starting
in there. And I think there's two elements here. One is the parents.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the other one is the child. And what I'd say is the good thing about certainly the oral sprays, there's something quite active about using it. Taking a tablet is quite passive, isn't it? And I don't have anything against tablets and capsules. They work for a lot of people, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
But you have a physical engagement with the spray.
Yeah.
And it's often out. You put tablets in drawers down in the kitchen. I'm looking at mine, but my spray is next to my toothbrush.
Yeah.
And I think the younger generation like the idea that they can adopt something that they own. Something they can engage with, which is important. There's also a number of youth schemes. I know we've actually literally just signed a 4-year financial support agreement with the most amazing youth charity. I'll name it, called Base 71 in Barnsley.
Wow.
State of the art. It's run by a lovely charity called Onside, supported by the local council.
Yeah.
It is quite amazing. They've got climbing walls and football pitches and gyms. And they've got music studios. But what I really, really love is they've got a kitchen.
Nice.
A fully functioning kitchen, a big kitchen. It's a safe space where people can come. Often children will come there, but they probably won't have had breakfast.
Yeah.
It's open when the schools are not.
Incredible.
And I just think this is really, really good. And so we've been brought on, and I'm just so proud that we're involved. We can give them nutritional support.
Yeah.
We can make sure there's education there. I'd love to do, some of these children come home and there's no one there for quite a number of hours. They have to look after themselves. Recipe ideas, eating healthily, not making it hard and not making it just untrendy, trying to make it so that it's engaging for them. And so that's a real challenge for us. And I think I love that. It's not about forcing supplements down them. It's about them having a positive relationship with food to start with. And then understand the potential limitations. And then here we are. We can help.
Yeah.
But it's got to be that way around.
Absolutely. Yeah. We were talking about this last week about how so much has been done over the last 10 years around school meals, but yet actually when you go into schools, most kids have school meals that have very little nutritional value. And then, as you said, some of them don't get that at home. I think a lot of parents do rely on school and external educators to support their children, when I do think more needs to be done, even if you can't necessarily have time to cook for your child, but just to talk to them about it or to at least educate them about it, I think is really important. So I think it also does stem a lot from the parents. But you were talking about the spray. I love using it. I think it's really fun. And I have to try not to overdose, because I know it's like 4 sprays and I'm like, because I love it. But I think loads of people, they are used to obviously pills, and the oral spray is something that might be a bit different for them to use. But I also think it's really easy because you can travel with it, you can have it in your bag, and it's super easy to use. The fast absorption is great, but do you think, well, not you think, I know I sometimes will take it and then I'm not as consistent as I should be. How important, especially for absorption and seeing those benefits and vitamins, is it that we stick to taking them daily? Because I think a lot of people, ideally, they'd like to have a great regular routine. But the reality is, with life, you might take it like twice a week. Is that still beneficial, or should we really try and be like regimented in how we take it?
I don't think we should look at regimenting anything necessarily. I do think it's about having that positive relationship with supplementation. And you're absolutely right. I think we can beat ourselves up and worry ourselves into doing something. You never love doing it then, unfortunately.
That's true.
So I don't want anybody to be worried about it. And overdosing I mean, I think you take the B12, it's water soluble, you're fine.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Because Mum's always shouting. My mum always shouts at me. She goes, "Stop spraying it," because she can hear me in the kitchen.
Do that. I've got it in my pocket now. I goodness knows what I'm on. I'm on about 5,000 micrograms so far today. But no, so the absorption is instantaneous. When you spray into the inside of your mouth,
Yeah.
you absorb it. So whether you do it daily or you do it as a sort of bolus dose and once a week,
Yeah.
doesn't matter so much. We do know, we certainly have believed for a long time, and we're getting evidence now that daily application will elevate your levels faster than single bolus doses.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't want anybody to worry.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. And even with vitamin D, it's funny because I have a lot of people. When I first launched vitamin D supplementation, I used to have stand-up arguments with GPs. And then they said I was single-handedly exacerbating hypocalcemia in this country. And I was all this sort of stuff. They said it's irresponsible. And now it's a highest prescribed nutrient in the UK. And in fact, our range of vitamin D is prescribable.
Yeah.
Now, so we're on the British National Formulary.
Amazing.
But I remember that, and I thought this is just wrong. They just don't know what they're talking about. It has a half-life of 3 to 5 weeks. So it's out of your system completely in 2 months.
Okay. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Vitamin A, for example, you can store that in your liver and kidneys for 2 years.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So there's an upper limit.
Yeah,
There's toxicity potential with vitamin A. We have it in our multivitamin in a low dose. We don't really, because we don't see many people with vitamin A deficiency, vitamin D deficiency all the time.
Yes.
So that's why we focus on that.
Yeah.
But we're deficient in it for a reason, because we don't store it particularly well. Even though it's fat soluble, it's only fat soluble. We store it in our fat cells, but then we use it up so quickly. 2 months, it's gone.
Yeah. Okay.
What age should people start taking it from?
Birth.
Okay,
Oh.
so I can give
From birth.
I give
So
it to my
we
son,
have
like-
an infant vitamin D spray.
Okay,
all
that's
my
good to
children
know.
all start on.
Yeah,
Because they can't take tablet
Okay.
capsules. You either do drops, and you can
Yeah.
do drops, put them on the teat or on the nipple, and then drop it directly into the baby's mouth, or just spray. It's just
so much-
just so easy. So from birth,
Okay.
so 400
Okay.
international units from birth. But of course, the recommended amount is still 400 international units,
Okay.
which is
Interesting.
a nonsense, by the
Yeah.
way. Based on the fact that we absorb and create vitamin D in our bodies based on our skin surface area, an adult is going to have 10 times the surface area
course.
of an infant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need 10 times as much.
Yeah.
It's a simple
Makes
rule of
sense.
thumb. So our basis of a maintenance dose is 25 micrograms to 1,000 international units to 25 kilograms of body weight. It sort of
Okay.
equates
Yes.
to, so a healthy adult male will have 4,000 international units of vitamin D as a maintenance dose.
Okay.
And that's a rule of thumb. And that seems to work.
Yeah.
You need to elevate that if you have a low level. So you need to probably double that or triple that
Yeah.
in order to get the levels up. And then you can survive quite
through.
happily on that.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm giving everything to the babies right now, so I think I need to up all the vitamins and my reserves to keep me going.
Now, as a male founder, you do a lot as well in the women's health space. You are very open about supporting women through menopause, perimenopause, and a lot of your products are used by women. A lot of the marketing that you do as well is towards women's health. I think often there's this, I don't know why, but still sort of biased view that women's health should still be very much in the women's realm. But I think it's really refreshing to see brands that are male founded, that have such an inclusive perspective of ages and also just of genders and backgrounds. Why is women's health something that really resonates with you and you do a lot of work in that space?
I think my experience, and I can only really talk about personal experience, is that women are far more aware of themselves. You're
Yes.
far more aware of your bodies and how you feel, and you're far more honest about it than men are. And we're a nightmare. We're awful. So if you're creating a supplement, here it is. I created a supplement company by accident.
Yes.
Didn't I, really? So I was trying to catch up.
Yeah.
So who understands their bodies? Who knows? Who'll tell me what they need?
Yes,
It's
women. Yeah.
I've listened to women all my life. That's how I've survived as well as I have, and it's really important. It's super important. That BetterYou has, a fantastic array of very, very talented female professionals who I could not run this company without. Our chemists, our quality team, all women.
Wow.
That's amazing.
And they're very good. They know exactly what they're doing. They're highly professional. But then you look at our customers. Our customers predominantly are female, are women, probably because they research, they listen, they take advice, and they act.
Yes.
We'd be mad to ignore that.
Yeah, that's true. I was going to ask actually what the kind of range is between men and women, because I think men are good at taking supplements if they are like proteins or gym related or muscle related. But how much do you see men like reaching for the B12s and the D? Do you see a difference that women tend to use them more?
More and more I see men now.
Okay.
And it is.
That's
in the
good.
20 years that I've run this company, it's been transformational. It was probably 70-30, maybe 80-20 at the start towards women.
Yeah.
Now more and more it's 50-50.
Oh, amazing.
Genuinely,
Yeah.
50-50. It could be that the man is being told to use it by
I was going to say.
the woman, which is fine.
Yeah.
Good for him for listening. But in general, no. Along with the protein shakes, along with the aesthetics, let's just say, regarding gym going, they're starting to do more and more research. And there's, God bless social media, love it or hate it, it is a good source of information. And if you can cut out the stuff that's not great, there's some very, very good people talking a lot of sense out there.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. And a lot of people do talk about the importance of key individual nutrients to support a program or routine. There's not many people out there who are struggling to have a quality of life because they have low levels of protein or low lion's mane mushroom or whatever it might be. There are a lot of people out there who are struggling to attain a good quality of life because they have low levels of magnesium, B12 or vitamin D. And they're starting to realize that actually building something wonderful, building a body, building a quality of life has to be built on strong foundations. And nutritional foundation is it. There is nothing else. If we don't get our minerals and vitamins right, we are building on sand. People are starting to understand that.
I love that.
It's incredible. I've taken so much away. I'm like, okay, am I getting this supplement? Yes. Am I getting this supplement? Yes. Am I eating enough greens? Yes. I think it's fantastic. And I like how, like I said before, like you link it with food, you link it with nutrition. It's not a be all end all, just take the supplements, etc. What does BetterYou have coming up? Is there anything that you want to share with us that you're working on? A little hint?
Well, I mean, we're pretty good at what we do. So magnesium is something that I'm always passionate about. And we've branched out recently. We've launched a magnesium water recently, which cute, which I love because I was fed up of buying other people's waters really. But this is higher strength, so it's half your RDA of magnesium in there. I believe it tastes great.
It's fantastic.
So, expanding from just transdermal magnesium into oral magnesium, but magnesium all the same, that has a speed of absorption. It's all about absorption with me. I just want to get the nutrients as quickly into the body. So we have a range of powders now as well. Launching one with prebiotic just to enhance that magnesium absorption. Because I'm evangelical about magnesium, it's really launching ways, delivery mechanisms that just make it easy for people to bring it into their lives.
Yeah, absolutely.
So although I'm a bit of a purist, I do acknowledge that sometimes people will, embrace something and understand a bit earlier about BetterYou from a different route. And water, there's a lot of people who are coming into BetterYou, the BetterYou community, because they found us through the water or through the powders.
Yes.
So that's great. So that works. But oral sprays is something that we are, my team are exceptional at. And so we'll continue looking at oral spray technology. It's something that I am totally wedded to. And vitamin D is still not universal.
Yeah.
Everybody needs it,
Yeah.
but not everybody's taking it. I still have a job of work to do.
Yes.
Here,
Yes.
you
Yeah.
know, so there's a lot.
Reach the
So
people.
what I don't do is spread ourselves too thin. I want to
No.
stick to our knitting,
Yeah.
focus on what we are excellent at, and just keep on getting better and better at that.
Yeah.
And educate.
Yeah. And I actually think that having the simplicity of BetterYou is something that I've always respected and I think really resonates with the consumer. And I was going to say, for anybody thinking of launching in the supplement industry or that maybe has just launched in the supplement industry, would you say less is more? And I think you kind of answered that already, but I feel like, we are currently in an industry where it's sort of throw everything at it and see what sticks. And it's all very colourful, lots of trends being thrown at you. You see the same product repackaged 1,000 times and sold for different uses. And I think it can be very overwhelming for people that might be in that holistic nutritional world that want to start a company maybe or start a supplementation brand. Obviously, you've done it with few products, done very well. Even your packaging, it's not overly complicated. Everything's very clear. So is less more when it comes to supplements?
Yes.
In short.
Absolutely. It is. It's focus. I think the word I'd want to use is authenticity.
Yeah.
I think you have to be true to yourself. 'Cause customers are not stupid.
Yeah.
They will see through you. Yeah. And there are a lot of fads, a lot of trends. Some of them are great. Some of them aren't. But you follow a trend and who are you?
Yeah.
What are you really doing?
That's going to set a lot of people off, just so you know. That's like existential crisis, just unleashed.
I believe as a brand, we hold a mirror to the customer.
Yeah.
They see themselves in us. So I have to make the decisions for the brand that I believe my customers want me to make. And that they would, I hope they would make themselves if they were in my shoes, down to the plastic we use, the fact that we're B Corp, the fact that we've never used palm oil or palm oil derivatives. That's actually really hard.
Yes.
And it's really expensive.
Yes, I can imagine.
And my team are going, do we really? We sort of do. Can we set ourselves out now? This is who we are.
Yeah.
And I think for some people it doesn't matter. For some people it matters a lot, but it is who we are. And I think I urge anyone who's entering this space or who are already here, just look at who you are and be true to that, because people will respect you for that.
Yeah.
For sure.
I love that.
It's been incredibly insightful. There's so much we've taken away. Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
On Healing Equation, we like to ask our guests the same question. What is your personal healing equation? I.e., what does it take for you to feel good? What is your formula?
Wow. Yes. Okay.
See what I mean?
No, well, it should be easy, shouldn't it? Really. I mean, what for me to feel good? I think there's obviously one answer, but it's in two areas. One is intake and one is outtake or giving. And I think something that I have learned from the day one of BetterYou is balance.
Yeah.
So nutritional balance, balancing magnesium, calcium at that very early, at that bar.
Yeah.
Just buying a load of alcoholic drinks with my inhaler. It's all about magnesium, calcium balance. And for me, when I feel at my best, I'm in control of my intake, nutritional intake, but also what I'm taking on job-wise, what I'm taking on personally.
Yeah.
Balance that with how much I'm giving.
Okay.
How much I'm giving back. And it's something that I think that underpins BetterYou. I mean, we give a day every month to all the team, paid day, to give back to their community.
I love that.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And they can choose how they do that, everybody comes back more energized.
Yes.
Everybody, when you give.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really matter what you do.
Yeah.
Just give a little. So be wary of what you take in.
Yeah.
Be in control of that, and make sure you balance it by giving out as well. And that's a lovely equilibrium. You'll feel good.
That's one of
That's
the
a fantastic
best
answer.
answers we've had. Yeah. Could cry.
That's incredible. Thank you so much, Andy, for your time today.
Thank
You've been
you.
superb. We love this topic so much. We love your products. Where can people find you? What's your website? How can people contact BetterYou?
So betteryou.com is the website.
Yep.
So by all means, call us. There's no AI. There's lots of really lovely people who can't wait to talk to you. Holland & Barrett, Boots, Tesco, Sainsbury's, Amazon. Yeah. So we're around.
Yeah.
Fantastic health stores. I mean, I shouldn't ignore the independent health stores. They've been, really struggling for a long time, but there's some tremendous people working
Yes.
tirelessly, doing some really, really good stuff there. So
Amazing.
so that's great as well.
Incredible.
Amazing.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today on The Healing Equation. Until next time, be well and thank you for joining. If you liked today's episode, don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe.
Until next time.